Oh, guys, welcome back to the show. Oh, for all you food folks out there, and I'll give you a little hint, for all you West Coast locals, we'll dial it in a little bit, maybe even the LA folks. Welcome to the show. Things have been going great, It's the leaves. Let me tell you something about the leaves right now. I was driving down the road the other day, and it was like I was on like fucking acid, man. It was like everything was just, the leaves were just like 25 different colors and just like changing, and you're going down the road and the things are moving. I wasn't even, listen, stone cold sober, okay? And the Scout's honor. And it was just absolutely beautiful. And it's just been hitting me all week as I have been driving. And yeah, just really cool. But you know what? Winter's coming, man. My hands are going to be cold. I got the firewood. I'm out there with the chainsaw cutting up freaking firewood. But it's good. It's my gym, keeps me tight, baby, keeps me strong, keeps me from being too fat, even though I'm working on it. Let's face it, Brad. We know, bud. We know. And but other than that, man, yeah, so winters are coming, should be fun. Me and old Griff boy and Cal, and even Peg, she likes to ski too. Peggy's my wife for those you tuning in for the first time here. And we're going to maybe go up to Vermont, hopefully a couple times, and do a little ski. I'm trying. I grew up snowboarding. I can snowboard relatively all right. I can go down just about any hill. I'm not doing any jumps or anything silly, but I like riding. Yeah. But I've been learning how to ski as I've been drawn to it as an adult now. So me and Griffin in real time are learning together. And to be honest, kind of at the same pace so far. We've only gone a couple times, but hopefully we'll go this winter. That'd be a blast. It's fun. As long as I don't get freaking hurt. I can't afford that shit. Blow out a knee, break my ass, blow out break my tailbone. No one needs that, for God's sakes. But we'll be careful. It's fun. Watch your wrists. Fall backwards. But the skis are a little different, Pizza, French fry. That's me, Bobby. But yeah, things are awesome, man. Cranking away. Been cooking a bunch. We got the holidays coming up. I got some Annie's Crannies. Shout out to Annie out there in Cape Cod. I got some fresh cranberries. Oh my God, are they just a treat? What a delight, what an absolute, like a dry harvest. I had an episode with her out there on Local Legends. Check it out on Bradleone on YouTube, okay? Local Legends, Annie's Cranberry Farm. And you'll get the whole scoop. No pun intended, but it was a blast. And they're delicious. Oh my God. So I'm going to make, I think, some type of weird cranberry, like, chimichurri type of saucy type of cranberry spoon saucy type of thing. I'm gonna go for like a chimichurri chutney cranberry sauce, maybe some olive oil, maybe some I don't know yet. All right, I gotta figure it out before Bobby shows up with the camera. And yeah, guys, thanks for sending in some questions. Please send in some more if you got them. I love to hear them. And, it's just, it's a great thing to send it to layitonbradleone@gmail.com. Send a video one, even if you wear a mask. Okay. I just want to see something. And although the reading is fun, as long as you guys don't mind it, cause it's kind of, I read them kind of ridiculously if in hindsight, but it's fun. All right. Our first call coming in from Mike in, I believe, Tennessee. All right, Mike, let's see what you got, bud.
Hey, dude, want to start off by saying, I really appreciate what you do. You bring some excitement and energy to a space that could be stale. Yeah, man, quick question. So I'm about 4 weeks out from having my first kid, a little son, excited for that. And, I'm an outdoorsman, and I have a fear of that, when a parent loves something so much, it can often push the kid away from it. So I was wondering if you had any advice on how to keep the kids engaged with the outdoors, and get them into cooking at an early age. I know I got a while, but already thinking about it. Thanks, Brad.
Man, what a question, bud. Thanks for asking. I feel like I'm going to be able to help you out with this one a little bit. And yeah, I think it's simple, it's like almost like anything. It's kind of like sports for that matter, right? For me, and like I had experiences that, my parents weren't forceful or anything, but you saw it, no one wants the psycho mom or dad who's, crazy, like, living out, their childhood, like misses or something, pushing a kid to play basketball. The kid doesn't even really like it, and he's crying in the back of the car and he doesn't want to go and the dad's yelling at him or something. I didn't have that experience. I played a little football and some baseball, and my parents like, I did it, but I quit when I wanted to. And that was when I got into high school. But back to your problems and concerns, man. I think just don't force it, right? Like I think introduce it, and this applies to cooking as well. I just don't just I like to introduce it to them, and over you got a little time too, right? Just like listen, your kid's is gonna love whatever you're into, And if you're in the outdoors, you sound like a solid, classy guy, man. I'm not gonna lie. You sound like someone I would want like my sister to date. I'm not, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I could hear it in your voice, Sound like a good dude, and your kid's gonna love that. They're gonna love everything you do. And I haven't met a kid that didn't have good parents that introduced him to the outdoors where the kid hated it. I mean, what's the hate about it? As long as you got to respect the space. There's some times where the kids don't want to go with me fishing or for even a hike for that matter, or go doing something, setting up a tree stand or trimming something or whatever it is. I try not to force it. And now I'm at a spot where like my kids, they really got into it, because the last thing you want to do is like turn them off to it, right? Where it's just like, a couple bad experiences, and it could really, at an early age, it could really kind of steer a kid off of something like hunting or fishing. I'm excited for you, man. You're going to have a freaking blast. And thanks for sending in the call, man. And I hope that was helpful in some way. And I love you, bud. And yeah, it's exciting, man. Good luck with the kid. And man, good for you, buddy. Thanks for sending it in. Today's guest is boy, do we have a good one, a real legend. All right, a real legend of his craft and of his location. And he's just a beautiful man, makes beautiful food. I could kiss him on the cheek. Maybe you know him from Felix or Mother and Wolf or just being an LA rock star. Let's welcome to the show, Evan Funke. Well, Evan, man, thanks for the time. Thanks for joining the show, and good to see your face, bud. And
likewise.
Yeah, how's things been, man? Good.
Everything is everything right now, man.
That's a great answer.
Been wild.
Well, nothing wrong with that, right? So yeah, man, it's been a while since I seen you. Last time I saw you, I think, was out in your state, out in lovely California.
Yeah.
I believe. Well, actually, the last time I saw you, I think I had dinner at at your restaurant. Felix, I believe, was where I saw you last. It might have been Mother Wolf, but I think it was Felix. Either way, what was that thing that we did up in? It was a bit north of LA, up in the Bay, up in the car show.
What was that? It was I think it was Monterey Car Week.
Monterey Car Alfa Romeo.
Alfa Romeo. That's what
it was.
Yeah.
You cooked a lovely, delightful dinner at a cool place, man, and yeah, and then it just, I've always just been a fan of your restaurants and what you've been cooking, and then getting to hang out with you there for the first time was pretty cool, man. And always wanted to pick your brain a bit about how you got, started off in restaurants and how you got into cooking in California. I believe you grew up in California, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah. 6 generations in California since 1848. Got a great grandfather who rode shotgun for Wells Fargo Stagecoach.
Dang, yeah, huh? Bad man.
Yeah. I have a distant relative that was the treasurer to the state of California under Roosevelt. So pretty substantial and old.
Yeah, California ain't too much older than that, to my knowledge, right? Your great grandfather riding shotgun on the
shotgun,
Yeah, for sure. Man, I bet he probably looked like you too. He was probably the scariest looking dude.
Who knows? He was a fiddler, though.
Oh, I'm sure he was a gentleman as well. But I'm sure he was a bad mother. I bet you could. Whatever. Don't go robbing that bank. Did he? Do you know anything about the story, or if he lived through it? Or
unfortunately, we lost a bunch of family archives in the Palisades fire.
So, oh no!
Yeah, we had literally generations and generations of stuff in the Palisades fire. So that stuff is kind of gone. But my uncle and my dad and my mom kind of have some stuff still hanging around. But as long as we continue to tell the stories, that we'll always have a verbal contract with our past.
Yeah, love that, man. It's true though, right? So you grew up in Los Angeles, correct?
Yeah, I grew up in the Palisades, but didn't spend much time there. Once I hit teenage years. But Palisades was very different when my parents moved there in the 70s. Now it's a very, very different community.
A bit more rural, was it then?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I grew up, exploring the canyons and smelling the wild fennel and, getting dirty and muddy and scraping knees. And my
Oh, so
brother.
it was a pretty good childhood then, right?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, we had a half pipe in the backyard, and
Oh, sick.
so it was cool.
Well, you skate.
Lots of freedom, zero discipline.
Okay. Well, you turned out all right,
Yeah, not bad.
to my knowledge. So, what, the half pipe, you skateboard, or are you guys on
I
BMX bikes,
was
or?
too fat for skateboarding, so I would
Dude,
watch. I
heck
would
yeah,
watch.
do a
I went,
skateboard.
I was quiet. My parents sent me to art school when I was like 11 or 12, and I played the drums and shit like that. My two older brothers were skateboarders, so I would
Okay.
watch.
Yeah, dude, skateboarding is no fucking joke, man.
No
Like you know what I do on a skateboard? I get hurt. Like my big tall
That's
ass dude.
precisely it, man. I tried it and I just completely ate shit, and I was like, not for me.
You gotta know your limits with shit like that. Same with like surfing or snowboarding or anything. I can dabble, but like you can get fucked up real quick.
Yeah, man.
We just had, speaking of, out in California, we had Jeff Rowley on, and I think it was Rowley is how you actually pronounce it. But anyway, legendary skateboarder, and he lives out in California now. And he was just talking about the brutal injuries. He was going through, I think he broke every bone in his damn body he was going through, just kind of crazy. Not for me, man.
Where are you from?
I'm from New Jersey, grew up in northern New Jersey.
Good tomatoes out there.
Great tomatoes, actually. That's kind of really where I got introduced to like gardening and the like. That's where I really experienced the first like how amazing a green bean or a tomato, for that matter, off the vine, right in the garden while it's still warm from the sun. Like it's like candy. It's unbelievable. That's really where I was introduced from that. But yeah, Jersey, Garden State, baby. And I was right up in northern Jersey, about an hour from the city, right where like the Appalachian Trail kind of whispers through there, and in like by the Delaware Water Gap. Just absolutely gorgeous
Now you're
area.
in Connecticut.
Now I'm in Connecticut. Yeah, no, I'm in no, it's actually a great little spot in Connecticut, southeast Connecticut, right on the coast there on the border of Rhode Island. Like Rhode Island's like a couple miles from my house kind of deal. And
I've never been to Connecticut, so
yeah, well, open door, man. It's a great little spot. Do a lot of fishing, a lot of gardening, a lot of good food, a lot of good restaurants out here in Rhode Island and this part of Connecticut as well. But enough about me, for God's sakes. So, man, you're out. When did you get introduced into? Were both your parents into cooking, or?
My mom was raised by like a collection of Italian families in San Francisco in Little Italy in North Beach. When she was growing up, her mom worked for the U.S. Army at the Presidio there. So she was kind of like a absentee landlord of sorts. So after school, my mom would, hang out with these Italians and eat dinner there. And so that's where she was introduced to regu bolognese and pesto genovese and things of that nature. So those things ended up on the table growing up. And some of my first culinary memories are as a very, very small child going to these houses and visiting these grandmothers. And, this one woman, JJ, she would chain smoke Virginia Slims. And like
Fuck yeah.
He was from Bologna and she was from Genoa, and her husband was from Bologna. So there was this mixture of the two regions always cooking. So I would like smell those smells. And I didn't realize this until much, much later, thinking back on where this whole, the genesis of who I am as a chef, where it all came from. And I had to do some
unpacking of
digging,
it. Yeah.
Some digging. So those are kind of my first culinary memories. But my parents had an invisible format of how to raise children. I never got told you got to clean up your room, you got to do your homework, you got to go to college, you got to do this or that. It was just like, do what you want, but do it to the best of your ability. And that was kind of it. So it was very freeing, but also really did not prepare me for what I wanted to eventually do, as I eventually found that discipline in the kitchen. But I was lost a lot growing up. I was lost. And that kind of served me later when I found myself in Italy, being comfortable lost. And it helped me navigate something that was at the time kind of scary, not speaking the language and trying to search for something. So I was, dating a girl who was Sicilian. Her mom was a great cook. This is, 1999 or so. And I was lost. I was like a massage therapist for 2 years professionally, randomly. And I was totally unhappy with my trajectory as a person. And we had cooked together, and I joined the Marine Corps. That's how, like,
Oh, really?
I need some discipline because I wanted something physical. I wanted something
Structure.
discipline, structure, discipline, camaraderie, physical.
Right.
And I joined the Marine Corps, like, did the whole, exercises with the police going in and all that, signed the thing, took the oath. And 2 weeks before shipping to boot, this woman says to me, like, why don't you just go to culinary school? Like, what are you doing? And I was like, whoa, I never even thought of that. So my parents co-signed on a loan, and I went to culinary school, and I never looked back.
And you had already kind of that little bit of a seed planted. You liked food already. You were kind of into it already.
I was I still am a glutton for everything,
Okay.
everything from fast food to fine dining. Like, I'm a glutton for flavor, for texture, for, just all of the things. I want to eat the world. I want to eat the world.
Sure.
But I couldn't articulate that. I just knew that there was something else. And the kitchen solved a lot of those, filled a lot of the holes that I was looking for.
Well, sure, man. Right. I mean, we're talking late 90s, early 2000s. Some kitchens, I'm assuming you're getting into there's some brigade-y still. Like, it's pretty military in a lot of kitchens. And especially back then, even wasn't that long ago, but long enough.
Long enough. Yeah. I mean, this is so I went to culinary school 3 months in. Wolfgang Puck would do these one-time events for for the Oscars and the Grammys and shit like that. So I got a job, paid me $10 an hour. Oh my God. And we get to hang out in this massive kitchen and watch this beast of an organism, this symphony of structure and logistics, feed 1,800 people in under 20 minutes,
Right.
And that's kind of where I got my start. And then 3 months into culinary school, I think it was in baking one or something, I got a job with Wolf, and then I ended up working for Wolfgang for 6 years.
Wow. That must, right. So did you finish school then? Yeah.
I did, but
kind of checked
didn't
out
do very well. It was boring because I was learning so much on the job, because cooking is an experiential based thing. You have to do it to know it. You can't listen to somebody and be like, oh yeah, I got it. I can do it now.
Right.
Some people can do that, but you have to do it repetitively in order to get good at it. It's that's just all it is.
Yeah, 100%.
You just got to be stubborn and be repetitive. So I was learning so much on the job. I started, showing up late, not going to school, and all of the teachers were like, you know what? It's a good thing you're a good cook, because otherwise you would be failing out of this thing.
Right.
My man, I'm paying you for the thing. Like, this is going on my permanent record, So, but it was.
Well, wait, hold on. I missed something. What happened to Sicily and this girl you're dating out there? That sounded fun. You moved out there or what?
No. This was, she was based in Palos Verdes, and
okay, sorry.
I still have a relationship with the mother, and she's a wonderful person. She gave me that spark to start on this path, and I owe her a lot for that. And that kind of started this through line of seeking out women that have just made a substantial impact on my life. And when I really started studying pasta in earnest, it became immediately apparent that the nonna, the mother, the daughter, the niece, the grandmother, like, was the center piece of knowledge and storytelling and technical culinary ability.
Sure.
And I was like, wow, this is where it all is. And
yeah, well, they carry the culture. I mean, for food, which is
very much.
And
the majority of stuff that I know that I've been taught has been taught to me by a woman in the home. And
sure.
the real food for me in Italy is done in the home. It doesn't happen in restaurants.
Right.
It's in the agriturismo, it's in the home, it's in the apartment, like that's where the gold of Italy really is.
Absolutely, man. So you were able to pull the cord? Are you able to get out on the old Marine Corps there? You were.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was still
I mean, yeah,
okay.
it was a little touchy for a little while, but
That's all right.
yeah. I can't, I don't claim to have gone into the military. I get, those guys have a very, very difficult job, way harder
Oh
than
God.
I do.
Yeah, for sure.
All the respect to the Marine.
No, of course, man. Oh my God. I mean, it's what's funny though. It's not funny. Is not the right word, but it's one of those moments where like life would have been very different, man. If and it could have been a good thing, and I'm sure the military probably would have done you well. I think Marines probably would have gave you what you were looking for.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I originally joined to become a firefighter because as a child, that's all I wanted to do was to be a firefighter.
Oh, was family of firefighters or no?
No, I was
Nope.
just fascinated.
Just liked it.
And it's the physicality and the camaraderie and the little bit of danger and
the firehouse. Yeah, dude, it's the best. You look like a fireman, actually, Evan. I'm not gonna lie.
If this was gone, I might, get the mustache. Those guys always have great mustaches.
It's true, and they do like cooking, so maybe a second career.
Yeah.
So culinary school, you wrapped up. You're working with Wolfgang, man. He's not doing Italian food. How did Italian?
Oh, so the Italian food. So Wolfgang's. I think the best way to describe his food is modern continental.
Sure.
He does some sushi. He does Chinese. He does Thai. He does Italian. He does French. He does California. He was the first one to kind of like blend it all together. Make it approachable. I think, and he always ran fresh pasta, and my station, the Grand Marché station, my prep area was directly behind the pasta maker, this guy named Esse, who's probably still there. He's probably in his 70s or so. And I would watch him knock out with minimal effort and elegance the agnolotti, and it was the first shape that caused me to look at it differently and in detail. But he wouldn't teach me anything, because I was just like, fuck off.
Just gotta watch, yeah.
I got a lot to do. I don't have time to teach you. So that was kind of the first thing, and where it all began, the agnolotti. And it's such a beautifully designed shape. The architecture, the curvatures, the way that the short wings kind of embrace the filling. It's perfectly designed. So, but that was up to now, like that was the only shape that I had learned from a man. And I've since gone back to learn that shape several times from a woman, because all of the shapes that I know have been taught to me by a woman, because that's where they live. If you look at all the pasta shapes in contemporary pasta, you walk down the aisle of a grocery store and you see all these shapes. They all have an ancestral shapes. They all have an ancestral shape that was at one time made by hand from flour and water by a woman in the home.
Right.
And I find that extraordinarily beautiful.
No, it's absolutely in a lot of ways, like, and not only in the craft, but in the culture of it. Right. It's just in every way. The ingredients of it, I think you look at it in such a beautiful way too, man. It's just like is really kind of respecting, and I love how much you kind of dug into the history of it. Not just that it's delicious and how it holds the sauce or whatever, but like where it comes from, and that's that's interesting stuff to me, man. Like I could listen to you talk about that kind of stuff for hours. Like
what changed my life was moving to Italy in 2007. Like after Spago, I took a couple of dead end jobs or whatever, and still very unhappy with my trajectory. And I wanted to do something different. I wanted to do something difficult. Rented an apartment and moved to Bologna and studied with Alessandro Spisni. And I immediately fell in love with, as most people do.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds amazing.
Fell in love with the reverence that they have for ingredient and seasonality and the history and provenance of things.
Mm-hmm.
And they hold on to it so dear. I just never had anything like that in my own life. So I hooked onto it, and I immersed myself, and I was just gaga, man.
Yeah.
What is this? Why did it take so long for me to find this? And truly, honestly, I didn't go to college, and I'd never really been out of, the Palisades very much. And this was like, the coming of
Another
age.
world, man. It's like a
It's like
movie.
I
Yeah.
became who I am today in those 3 months in Bologna. And
Mhm.
because there were no prerequisites, nobody knew who I was, nobody cared who I was. I didn't speak the language. I was completely lost, and I struggled. And the value of the end result through struggle is so much deeper and so much richer. When you struggle for something and you end up winning at the end, man,
Yeah.
like nobody can take that shit from you ever. And it changed me. It totally changed me. So I got back in 08 or whatever, and then started working at Rustic Canyon as the chef, and ran that thing for 4 years, which was
Intense. Yeah.
yeah, it was intense. It was my first gig as executive chef. I'd only been, like a sous chef up into that point. It was my first team, my first kitchen, first time doing inventory, all of those things. And,
Yeah. Right.
it was a difficult time, but of all of the experiences in my life that I've gone through, I wouldn't really change anything.
Oh, I'm sure you learned a ton on that first executive chef gig, man. Just running a restaurant, employees, not just the cooking part of it. I can only imagine. Yeah. Well, it's been, and the Italy, man. So out in, where'd you say you were living again?
Bologna.
Bologna, right?
Yeah,
and that's northern Italy, correct?
Yes. It's in Emilia Romagna. I lived in the red light district.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was
Fun.
a few a few yards from a pizza place and a sex shop.
Okay.
It was a little dodgy, but it was part of the whole thing, and that experience really kind of it started me on my path. And
did you make any friends while you're out there, or was it pretty?
Absolutely. So many friends. I met my greatest mentor in Italy, Alessandra Spisni, and she, if you watch the Netflix, Chef's Table, there's a moment in there where you can see the connection between me and this woman, and very much an emotional connection with that, because I think for both of us, pasta has been such an integral part in shaping who we are as people. And she's just a wonderful woman. But she was the one to set me on this path, and to begin seeking out other pasta makers that are masters of their shape. And when you sit with a 90-year-old woman and she tells you that, I used to let my tears moisten the dough because I wanted to go outside and play, but I had to make the orecchiette. Like, that is like, man, like, I want more of that. And less and less people are inclined to sit with their grandma and allow them to spin a yard and tell them the same story 17 times in one sitting.
Man,
and let it's teach you. But that's me. I
love it, man. And
would be the conduit.
And I've always had I've been to northern Italy a few times, and every time it's like this little love affair where you just like, every day I'm like, I could live here, I could do this, I could live here. And I remember one time I went on a trip with an olive oil company, Lucchini. I went on a trip with, and they brought us. We were in Modena, and we had Lambrusca and balsamic vinegar. We went to these different producers, and at night we went into this just someone's house, and in the kitchen, it was just like a very modest, normal northern Italian farmhouse type of deal. And there was 5 women in there. One of them looked like she was 175 years old. And they're in there, and they're on the table with the towels out, and they're all just making fresh pasta. And we sat down, man, and boy, that was one of the best meals I've ever had in my life. Not just the food, and the food was absolutely incredible, but it was the people. It was just the whole experience, the bottles of wine, the this and that. Everyone was just hanging out and learning how to make learning is a little loose. Doing it once, how they made a little pasta, and God, it was just even the smell. I can even kind of like make myself like kind of nostalgically sense the smell of that night. You know, I know it sounds a little weird, but not really.
No, no, it doesn't sound weird. And that's what so much of Italian food culture is environmentally driven. Where you are, it's who you're with, it's what you're eating, it's what you're drinking. Those memories are so impactful when you make the connection within another space that is in
Right.
another time and another place. And the people at the table, you know, it evokes this time like, oh, you remember that time we were at that farmhouse and the 90-year-old lady was making the this and the that? And like, that's what Italy is all about. It's
Right.
creating memories and then evoking ones of the past and just continuously making these connections. And that's what we seek to do through, you know, spending the money to put glass and closed pasta labs in all the restaurants because we're seeking that connection between pasta maker and the diner
Yeah.
so that they can maybe grasp onto the reverence for the shape that we all share. And sometimes a bowl of pasta is a bowl of pasta.
Sure.
Correct. Totally. But when you walk by a labo in one of the restaurants and you see a pasta maker repping out trophy that weighs 1 gram a piece, and then you order that trophy and you look down at the plate and there's 100 of them, and you make that connection that that pasta maker just did that 100
Yeah.
times just for me, and then you
I
look
know.
and everybody else, it's like you'll never look at that shape with any kind of disrespect from there on forward, and that's the point for me. Like if I can get that done one time a night, I'm winning.
It is 100. You're so right though, man. Like, especially something like pasta, where it is such a. It's not like a braised chicken or something. It's like every little origami or whatever, even especially like a little stuffed
Fingerprint.
one. Yeah, it's amazing.
NFT. It's a
Sure.
fingerprint. It's like a moment in time that can never be recreated in the same way, same form. Like you're different, the pasta's different, the flour's different, the environment's different. Like the whole thing. It's like literally this is a timestamp. And it's just, you know, I don't know. It has completely saturated my entire life uh, and it's all I want to do. You know, I want to do that. I want to drive fast cars and I want to build teams.
Fuck,
And that's
amen, brother.
literally it.
Yeah, I love that. Let's get back. I'll get back to the fast cars in a minute. But when it comes back to like Italy, man, like, and what I love too, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like regions have certain shapes, and like maybe, well, like, do you think are there some spots where they'll only make a handful of shapes of pasta?
Certainly, like Piemonte has, you know, like two very well known, and that's kind of all they do, the
Right.
Tahini and the Agnolotti. There's two forms to the Agnolotti, one ancient one and obviously the Pleen, but it's literally those are the two shapes. And you know, within the regions there are differences with all things, pasta shapes,
Right.
dialectal differences, and then there's differences within the city, and then differences within house to house to house, and it all comes down to a tradition within that space. Tradition for me is something that you're moved to do again and again. You're moved to do it. That's how traditions are born. Whether that's, you know, the starting point is necessity or poverty or frugality or creation or inspiration, you're moved to do it.
Right.
And these traditions all started at, you know, in one place. So if that's the starting point for all things Italian, I think that in America, we could do our own tradition. We just have to own it and not deviate from it. And I think that's, you know, what I was searching for is that traditional sense, that classic sense. And because I didn't really have any, you know, long-standing traditions within my family and really found that thing.
I
In
love it, man, and I love a good tradition. You know, it's kind of, I really do. I'm sorry, I but now that I have a
what's
family and
a
stuff,
tradition for you? Like, what's a
well,
good
it'd be like so. It'd be like like whether it's like a holiday dinner, like a bunch of people over the years get together for the same like Christmas Eve dinner, right? Where everyone brings a little something where it's all like shellfish and different things like that. Like it's usually based around food. I mean, I guess it could be limited. I didn't grow up with a ton either. I mean, I had an Italian family on my dad's side, and like I guess it was like holiday dinners, right? Where it was like, they always had like the big antipasta and the bread and the this and that. It was like a very, that's where I got the Leone name from, obviously, but it was like a very like Italian influenced heavily in the food. So I think that's where I picked up like I loving for food traditions. But even like growing up, I went with my dad and his brother every Thanksgiving. I don't know why it's always a holiday. Every Thanksgiving morning, we would go pheasant hunting, and this is in New Jersey. Like this little, it was like a 100-acre like gun club, hunting club, and like we would go, wake up at 5 in the morning and go pheasant hunting, and it was cold, and but it was like. There was plenty of times I probably didn't want to do it, but in hindsight, I'm like, man, this thing, it's pretty magical stuff. And I'm with you. I think America, or at least my experience of it, was lacking it.
Yeah, I'm not saying that those traditions aren't there. Just for me in my own personal life experience,
Same.
I didn't have them, and I've actually never been hunting before. I
Is
don't
there
know. I
ever
don't know if I could do it. Maybe the stalking and whatnot, but I don't know if I could just, I don't know. I can.
you like eating meat, correct? I
Uh,
know you're not against it, right? What
yeah,
about like a pig or something where it was like causing a lot of
I've been
damage?
present at, like, when animals have been harvested,
Hmm.
and said thanks, and I've murdered my share of lobster and make sure to
Sure.
give thanks to them every time they give their life before they go into the pot. But like, I don't know if I could, stalk something and then do the deed.
Right. Oh
No.
yeah. I mean, listen, it's a lot. First time I shot a deer when I was a kid, I cried. I'd be a little weary of the person that didn't have a sensitive a little bit of a red flag there if that doesn't, because it's a lot, man. It's not like and it's very human of us to pick our life, the types of lives that we cherish,
Mhm.
But like a mammal, it's not stepping on a cockroach or an ant or something. You shoot a deer or something. It's a lot, man,
Commitment.
and
It's a commitment. Yeah.
yeah, and it's a lot of animals, a lot of blood, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of. But like for me, and it is, I could see how it could turn some people off, and I don't think it needs to be for everyone. But I kind of geek out with it now, the same way with fishing or gardening, is the absolute control and
Mm.
psychoness of like ingredient,
Yeah.
like how you age it and hang it and how you butcher it, and like that's where everyone has a bad experience with fish or wild game. It's the handling of it, from shooting it's almost the easy part, not really, but like it's the cliche saying, it's the real work happens after. That's when things can really get spoiled and tainted, and even to the little, like I'm like a Japanese sushi chef with it. Like you keep your blade clean before you get into the meat, and you don't want to have any of the there's, and I'm only getting, I feel a little better at it. And it kind of applies to from fish to, growing corn and tomatoes to shooting a deer or pheasant. For me, it's always been about it always comes back to the food. I don't know if I could do it if it was just like,
For fun.
yeah, that seems a little weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that. I think, it goes back to reverence for the ingredient. I think if you're gonna shoot it, you should know how to properly treat it, and treat it with respect all the way through. It's the extent of its
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, no, it's been I've been enjoying it, getting back into it, but I was introduced to it from my dad too, growing up a bit. Got out of it in high school, probably even a little bit before high school, got out of it. Started like doing knucklehead shit and stuff, and and then got back into it later as an adult when I left New York, and now it's been great, man. But yeah, like I said, it always just comes back to the food. When did you open your own restaurant? When did you take the plunge, the big, from working in other restaurants and doing that gig? I mean, what was your first restaurant that you opened on your own? Was it Felix?
No, no.
No.
So I opened a restaurant called Bucato in
Right.
Culver
Yes.
City in tail end of 13, I think. And then it ended badly. There's a whole documentary about it called Funke on Amazon if you want to
Okay.
watch the whole thing and not listen to me jaw jack about that whole thing. But it w- it it ended in bankruptcy on my side, $3.5 million on personal bankruptcy, and it taught me the greatest lesson of my entire life as a business person, and also as a chef and as a leader. it was the greatest decision of my life to declare bankruptcy and take accountability for what I didn't know. And
Mm,
it exposed my weaknesses, and I attacked them. I used my failure as a tool, and it became my sharpest tool, because failure, if you study failure, it will lead to consistency. It will lead to discipline. It will lead to excellence. You cannot have consistency. You cannot build confidence without failure. They go hand in hand. And so many people are desperately afraid to fail in this day and age, in fear of being put on blast or whatever. Failure is absolutely crucial in anything that you want to be good at.
sure.
You have to fail. You have to fail. So for me, providing a space for the teams that I have, providing a space for them to fail in positivity, in a positive atmosphere, has been one of the greatest things that I could have done in the restaurant business, without judgment, without, all the other bullshit. Fail, 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 but study it. Study the failure. And then when you win, when you gain the victory, study the victory in the same way, the same visceral way you study failure. Because when you fail, you're like, oh man, how did I what happened? But when you win, you're like, all right,
Great.
what's
Yeah.
next? You don't study the victory. So if you study them both with equal intensity, you can duplicate the victory versus duplicating the failure. So implosion, explosion of Bucato in 2015, I self-exiled myself to Chicago to work with Rich Melman at Let Us Entertain You, and started to relearn and learn the things that I didn't know. I wanted to become an operator. I wanted to become a leader, a better leader. I wanted to become a better teacher. I wanted to become a better chef. I wanted to become a better businessman. And
That place was running a pretty tight ship.
I mean, Rich Melman is the architect of the culinary universe. He's opened up over 300 restaurants in the time that his business has been running. I think over 150 are still in operation. He's, grossing in the billions. So, you know, Rich Melman has been one of the greatest mentors of my entire career, because he gave me the time, space, and grace to fail and to learn how to become an operator. And I stayed, I lived in a hotel for 9 months and worked with lettuce. And then in 2016 or so, Janet Zuccherini sent me an email out of the blue and said, "Hey, I got this restaurant on Abbot Kinney. Do you want to be the chef?" And I was like, "Yes, yes, I do." So I flew to Toronto, cooked a few things for them, and they described my food as casalinga, which is exactly what it is, a very home style cooking. And we opened Felix in 2017, and then promptly won GQ's Best New Restaurant in America.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. Food. It's awesome restaurant, man, and awesome story to it.
Such a gem.
Yeah, and what I love about it too is, I mean, talk to me a little bit, like getting into that, learning what you learned from the fail of the first restaurant, and then going into Felix, which is it's an experience, man, and it's what I mean. Tell people that haven't been there. I mean, how would you describe Felix?
Felix is very warm. We designed it to feel like if Sophia Loren was your auntie, your Zia, and she had an apartment in Emilia Romagna since the 60s, and she had constantly updated it with modern stuff. It feels very layered. There's a depth and a richness there that is kind of unassuming. The service is polished but very relaxed, as is, most of the good restaurants in Los Angeles. And it's focused on seasonality. It's focused on the history and provenance of dishes, and it's focused on hime pasta. And that place moves serious weight. Like, they'll touch 400 covers on a Saturday night in a
Wow.
shoebox in the kitchen. And for the majority of it, I was the chef there for 4 years, and then Vicky Campos ran it for the next four, and she made it her own and just completely just dominated and built teams and built structure and really good culture within the restaurant. And the GM Luciano Mastromarino is a spectacular. He's from Campania, uh, and brings that nuance of sense of place because he's from Italy. Our sommelier Davide is from Napoli, so he kind of brings this color of Naples to the wine program. It's just a really special place, and it's going on 9 years, and for LA, that's a dinosaur of a restaurant, man.
Yeah, congratulations, man. That's awesome.
But it's not about me. Like, I used to think as a younger chef, it's like people only go to restaurants because the food is good and the chef is good. It's not the thing. People go to restaurants because they're moved to do so. It's the entire experience. It's not just the food. It's not just the wine list. It's how they feel. It's how that experience makes them feel. It's the whole thing. You can't just have good food. You got to give them the whole thing. You got to sweep them off their feet.
Right.
And I always say this thing to new staff. I ask everybody, do you believe in love at first sight? One of the first things I say to a brand new staff, do you believe in love at first sight? And most people, there's a couple people that do. I say, I do. It's happened to me. First time I saw my wife, I fell in love with her like immediately. I knew. But love at first sight is the greatest first impression that you can possibly have. And if you can give that to a guest walking in, the greatest first impression you can possibly have, they will fall in love with the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to be the whole thing. First impressions aren't based on one thing. They're based on the entire experience. And that's what we've kind of drilled down on in our style of hospitality at Funke and Felix and Tradita and Mother Wolf, is taking people out of their normal lives and taking them someplace else through storytelling and ambiance and music and food and nuance and terroir and wine and all this thing. It's real theater, And I grew up in the movie business. My dad was a 3-time Oscar winner, and I've talked to a lot of producers, and it's all production at the end of the day. It's just my medium is flour and eggs, flour
Right.
and water. They're just using digital means and film. Whatever. It's all production at the end of the day, and I just find great joy in when people really get it. It's the best feeling in the world, and that's why I'm in this sick business, because I want people to be happy.
Yeah, and it is. It's a tough one, man. Let's not skate around that, right? I mean, but it's probably one of the toughest, right? In my opinion.
There's no easy business.
Yeah, sure.
There's no easy business.
Right.
But like this one's challenging because it's all subjective.
But man, when folks do, and there's a lot of them, right? But there's a lot that don't. But like there's something. It's just embedded in humans, right? Like there's something just like what we were talking about in Italy before in that dinner I had, and I'm sure we could trade handfuls of them, of experiences like that. But it's that magic that happens when you go to a restaurant where it's got all the boxes checked. It's the service, it's the food, it's the decor, it's the lighting, it's the fucking everything. It's the napkin, for God's sakes, and in the bathroom. Don't even get me started on a good restaurant bathroom, and and it's just
had a meal like that at Providence.
Oh, like, amazing!
It was
perfect,
unbelievably
love at first sight,
but also so relaxed and like, man, those guys deserve every accolade that they've achieved. It's just absolutely extraordinary.
Yeah, there's something that's the best, and you're always kind of, and like you said, when you do get that, you fall in love with it. It's because it's great, it's magical, and it's just yeah. I mean, everyone loves going out to dinner, right? But there is something really special about going to it. I don't know if I'm probably never going to open a restaurant. Maybe
don't do it.
No, oh my God, I'm not. maybe when I'm 60, I'll sell
You know what
oysters
to
in
do?
my shorts.
Do an agriturismo. Do what you do in Connecticut, and then build a couple, like build a little inn with a
Right,
couple of rooms,
right, right. Yeah,
and then invite your guests to cook with you. Like
yeah.
that's for me. When I retire from this thing, I want a little house in the hills outside of Bologna where they take the truffle dogs and they hunt for porcini, and have a little couple of rooms with a little studio to make pasta and have like 5 seats.
Love it.
Just roll,
Perfect.
be the crazy American in the hills who rolls for you. Like that's the dream, to do that. But restaurants are not uh for the meek. And
No.
it takes a special animal to do well in this business, because you have to be resilient. You have to have real grit, like real grit, and you have to be rigorously dedicated to finding a way to win on a daily basis.
Yeah, man. I tell you what, you kind of really painted a beautiful. I've really liked what you described there, and with like the kind of, I don't want to say, but a little destination spot, right, where you can kind of come have that experience, a very like hands-on, and you're gonna pay for it, and it's gonna be this really amazing. That sounds great. I'd go to that tomorrow.
Yeah, that's it's fun. It's a fun idea.
So you're cranking now, man. What do you got? You got a lot going on, right? I mean, we were talking a little bit about Mother Wolf. Was that the restaurant that came after Felix? Is that
Yeah, after Felix, I didn't look at any other restaurants until I was like at least 3 years in.
right?
We opened Mother Wolf LA in 22 or so, going into 22, and then after that, oh man, we did. I mean, I opened 4 restaurants in 18 months,
Oh
basically.
wow,
So we opened Funky in May, and then we did Mother Wolf Las Vegas in December. Then I opened Tradita in March of 24, and then opened Miami Mother Wolf in October.
cranking,
So,
man. Hell
like,
yeah.
but it was bananas, but there's no way in hell I would have been able to do it without the team of people that helped me do it and organized it. Like
Impossible without.
it's impossible, and all I want to do is um be worthy of the stage that I'm standing on, and pay respect to the people that helped put me there. That's all I want to do. I tell people all the time, you do not work for me, I work for you.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be of service for you, and to you. And it's really important, and it's working. It's a bit of a social experiment part of the time, because you don't really know if things are going to hit, and the mindset within the industry is very different, and it's constantly evolving and constantly expanding, and the understanding is really key to what your staff needs to operate on a daily basis, with all of the shit that's going on out there.
Yeah.
When they get inside the restaurant, you need your staff to be in a mindset that is at another level, because what happens in the restaurant needs to be of louder volume than all of the content that they're drinking from a fire hose outside.
It almost seems like building a good team that you can trust, that's going to be there next week or next year for that matter. Um, Seems like it might be one of the hardest parts of running a successful restaurant.
It's so hard, but it's so rewarding
When it works, it's amazing.
like,
It's a
when you get
family.
a group of people from different backgrounds, different ages, varying skill sets,
All
and
over the world.
you mold
Yeah.
them into, guide them into becoming this cohesive unit that moves and communicates effectively. It is the most rewarding thing. Like, I know what Pat Riley and like those coaches, when they take great players and make them excellent, I know what that feels like, and to
Right.
see it when you have that service, that it's just
Humming.
it's like pitching a no-hitter.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
That's the service. How do we study it? how do we duplicate it?
Heck yeah.
It's just it's one of the things that I find great joy in is recognizing people who have talent and then really investing in them and seeing them grow and watching them grow. And it takes a lot of time. It's like gardening or growing a tree. Like, it takes a lot of time and a lot of water and a lot of, energy to grow something. And it doesn't happen overnight. And that includes people who are learning. It takes a long time to learn something and get good at something. If you want to be good at it, there can't really be a balance of things. You have to just completely let it consume you if you want to be great at it.
Yeah, man. Whew. It's the truth, though, man. And with you got a lot going on with the restaurants, bud. So this is all. I've never been to Vegas. How's that one treating you,
dude? Vegas is Vegas is very busy. The team there is extraordinary. The Fontainebleau is they've been extraordinary partners, and the hotel is situated like at the end of the strip, so we have a ton of Las Vegas locals, which I love.
Yeah, it's the best.
Vegas is down like in the summertime and it's hot and there's no tourism. I have all the locals coming in because it's like when I opened it with 10-5, like I wanted it to be the anti-Vegas restaurant. I don't want to light shit on fire,
sure,
sparklers and do bottle service and all that. I wanted it to be a Mother Wolf. A Mother Wolf is just one of those, restaurants that I think it just hits the mark. Roman food is so specific and so consistent, so it's kind of built for expansion a little bit. But Vegas is great. I think it's one of the best rooms in Vegas. The walls are painted the color of mortadella. It's fantastic.
I'll have to come check it out, man. Like I said, I've never been to Vegas.
And then Tradita in Chicago just got voted by Chicago Magazine as best steakhouse in Chicago, which is awesome.
Is that what it is? It's a steakhouse?
It's a I mean, if you go to a Tuscan restaurant and they have a wood-fired grill, is that a steakhouse? I mean,
sure.
I don't know.
So you cook a nice slab of.
It's a Tuscan restaurant. Tradita refers to the 3 fingers of the bistecca alla fiorentina. If it's not 3 fingers thick, then it's considered carpaccio. So, that's kind of the signature there, and
they take it serious too, man. That steak totally out there, the Florence or out in northern Italy, man, right? It's kind of, and it's like soup. It's very different steak than what you'd get at most steakhouses here.
You'd be lucky if it's barely warm and rare.
Purple on the inside. Yeah,
so it was a natural extension for Chicago because Chicago is a steak. It's a
sure
city, and so is Florence. So it made sense to do it there. But it really is, there's 15 pastas, handmade pastas on the menu.
Wow.
There's a real lab there, and the Sfolina there. Mary is just spectacular at what she does. She runs the lab like a boss, and the pasta program there is exceptional. It really is.
Wow.
And it's all about the team. I'm there I'm there like once a quarter or so to visit, and sometimes I feel like, you guys don't need me. What do you do?
Yeah, I'll just get it. Let me eat dinner and get out of here.
Yeah, you're crushing. So it's a really spectacular room at the St. Regis, and it's just a really great partnership also with Let Us Entertain You. And then Miami was we're in the design district, so third Mother Wolf. Miami is a special place,
It's a weird one. Yeah.
It's a really international city. And I'm still learning. We're studying and studying and studying because it's a lot like LA where people can be a little fickle when it comes to restaurants. There's a lot of really, really loud restaurants, almost clubstaurants that do well there, and there's really great food in the city, and it's an interesting place to cook. But it is challenging when it comes to the produce and also the humidity. That was
in regards to pasta.
With pasta, pizza, focaccia, all of those.
Just bread.
It's all animal.
Right,
Pasta's an animal. It's directly affected by its immediate environment. So you need a constant.
Making me hungry, man. I've been really enjoying bread making too. I want to start. I've been itching to start making some more pasta. Even before I knew I was going to be chatting with you, I've been having this, maybe because it's getting a little colder, but I want to really dive in there. I need like a good solid dough that I can just fool around with some nice little handmade pasta shapes.
Get the book, American Sfolino. You have my book?
Yeah, I think I do actually, for sure.
We're doing book 2. It's coming out, I think, next year at some point. It's called Pasta del Sud. It's all southern shapes now. So American Sfolino was one city, one woman. It's all bolognese shapes, but this is my experience in the South. So it's gonna be cool. So it's I don't enjoy writing books so much, but like the experience of going through it, whenever whenever you teach somebody something or try to like document it, it gives you a secondary opportunity to learn it again, and that process has been really helpful for me. So
Yeah, books are a bear, huh?
dude, books are hard, man.
Oh, the
I
best and the worst. Yeah.
It's like I'm in 5th grade again, and I got a book report due tomorrow. It's like
Deadlines. I know my brain struggled with. I made one and I had like PTSD for. I'm like, just recently I've been thinking about like I've like convinced I'm like starting to think it's attractive and I want to do it again maybe one day. And I think I do. I think I'd be, and like anything, I think this if I did it again, it'd be. I've learned a lot. I know what I'd want to do again and what I certainly wouldn't want to do again.
I'd do a picture book any day.
Or a kid's book. I love that.
I would love to do a kid's
A
book.
kid's pasta book, dude. That's the
Pasta
move,
book.
Evan.
Hear me out. This idea. I want to do a pop-up book.
Stop it.
Because nobody does them anymore. They're super expensive to make. But a pop-up book of all the regions.
Oh yeah, I'll pre-order right now.
Rad. But yeah, picture book. Picture book. I
That'd
love
be
my
cool.
for Eric Wolfinger. He's just like one of the most amazing. He just knows how to find the light, and we work very well together.
So lastly, man, what you mentioned driving fast cars? Is that something you're into? You got a little bit of a little bit of a gearhead or what?
Well, I built my first car when I was like 15. It took me about 2 years. I built a 1969 VW Beetle, which I love.
Okay.
I learned how to drive manual gearbox on my dad's 1970 Porsche 911.
A skill I think everyone should have, to be honest, and not a lot of people do
Learn how to
anymore.
drive stick.
Absolutely, man. Could save your life one day.
But I'm a Porsche, like I don't want to say fanatic, but like I'm a devotee to this car because it's an extraordinary balance between precision and emotion, and there's a lot of similarities between pasta making and Porsche, I think, and it's high performance, low maintenance, all about architecture and design and engineering, and taking that same approach to taking something that's very craft driven like handmade pasta and engineering it so that you can do it in a commercial setting like a restaurant. So I'm a 911 guy. I've had 9 of them at this point, and it's just it's the best road car, track car, sports car in the world, and
they are beautiful.
They're amazing. So I like to drive. I like to make pasta.
You go to like tracks or something, or you like a track guy?
I've done some track work for sure. I drove the GT3 RS, which is like the crazy.
What was that? Like a super? I think it must have thrown you in the seat.
It's a track. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You couldn't drive it on the street. It's way too.
No, it's stupid. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a Porsche guy. So I just actually on Sunday went for a drive at Angeles Crest, and it was just like beautiful morning, super early, crisp air, and
okay, gotcha. I like this style of driving. Nice car, you get out there, just normal road stuff, but just just doing it nice.
Yeah, you can like I can turn off all of the shit that's going on in my brain and lose myself in the car and focus on the curvature of the road and the camber and what
the feel of the tires, man. There's nothing like shifting and driving.
It's like an emotional connection with the machine.
It's amazing.
And I never break the speed limit.
You don't have to lie to me. But no, man, that's a blast, and it's something I grew up with. It was a manual transmission. There's something just it's the feel of it, right? Like I feel it should be mandatory. I not a lot of cars, not a lot of places make them anymore. I feel like in the United States, it's like you got to like special, like a new car to get it in a manual. It's like a thing.
It's like a thing. It's
yeah.
Like a thing. But they make some. There's some out there. but
For sure.
it's I think the best way to learn how to drive is through manual gearbox, because
Well,
it
so much more control.
teaches you how to control the vehicle, all the while, controlling the speed, and you have way more control over, way more control over everything. So it taught me
Yeah,
how to be a good driver.
absolutely, man. Growing up in the Northeast with snow, I found it because I've had both manual and automatic vehicles, and it was so much safer and you had so much more control with a manual. Instead of using your brakes on ice or on snow or something
Yeah.
slippery, you use your gears more. Yeah, and it was just it was the best. Yeah. Anything else? What else you got going on? Anything else you want to talk about? Or I mean, busy boy over there.
I mean, I'm just, I think I took 2025 off to kind of just focus on the 6 restaurants and on the teams within those spaces, and it's been very fulfilling to kind of
Good.
connect with everybody and make sure everybody's good and happy. And when you've got a happy team and they love what they do, man, the food's so much better.
Oh, dude, happy employees make a happy meal. That's for damn sure. You're not wrong about that.
Invest in your teams, and they'll give you the world, man.
Well, yeah, I think that's it, man. It sounds like what you started off for, Jason, wanting to be after the failure of your first restaurant, like becoming a leader and having. I mean, congratulations, dude. You're. It sounds like you're doing it, right? I mean, restaurants are working. It sounds you got some good teams. You got some time now, a little bit, right? I mean, that's huge, man. I mean,
About time, but
all right,
it's it's always a work in progress, and
sure.
And I'm thankful to be where I'm at. I'm thankful to everybody who got me to this point, and just I try to operate from a position of gratitude at all times.
Yeah, well, it's a beautiful thing, man. Before I forget, let me ask you a couple little questions real quick.
Yeah,
We'll end it on a couple
stop.
little questions. You a bagel or a Bialy guy?
Bagel.
If you had, bagel, huh?
Yeah.
You have a favorite one or no?
Double toasted, poppy seed or sesame.
Love that. Double toasted. That's big.
Yeah, double toasted. My family loves to burn bread. Double toasted. And then I think that the cream cheese ratio is really important in a good bagel.
Not too much.
You can't go, like
I don't want it smushing out all over me. What are we doing?
the thing, if you eat it like a sandwich, it comes out the sides, and I got, this.
Oh, bud.
I don't think I've eaten a bite of food in the last 15 years that I haven't had a hair in there.
Something in there.
Bagels
Yeah.
are the worst thing. So
for sure. You saw I'm eating it split.
100%. It's the Oreo move. Pop that thing off and it's split.
There we go. Are you a coffee guy?
I love coffee.
All right, here we go. Are you putting a dairy product in?
No, it depends. See, I like all coffee. Like road trip, gas station coffee, like
has its spot.
Hazelnut or vanilla, and it's late. It has its moment.
Yeah.
It has it's like a vibe. Also roadside auto grill in Italy has some of the best coffee and coffee makers on the planet. It's a total
people rave about it.
I love auto grill. But I have every means to make coffee in my house.
Phenomenal coffee.
MX to espresso machine, the whole bit. But if I'm I got to be in the mood to add a little half and half. But most
half and half though is what I was prodding at. Milk or half and half. Half and half. That's a beautiful thing. Do you have a favorite pasta shape?
The one I haven't found yet.
Oh, and also, have you invented? I mean, invented's a weird word, I guess, but is there a shape that you feel is original?
No invention. I don't feel that I have the license to do that. I am not Italian. I'm Californian, and
sure.
Revolutionizing or the evolution of Italian food should be left for Massimo and Carlo Cracco and the chefs of Italy, because they have that license to do so, to change their country's cuisine as they envision it. I do not have that. All I want to do is pay homage to the people that have taught me these specific shapes, be a conduit for their histories and traditions, and in the most respectful way possible. That's all I want to do. So I haven't dabbled in that. I don't want to. I want to study the classics first,
Be a shepherd of that. Yeah.
And do that. Yeah.
Love that. Favorite Korean dish?
Ooh, japchae.
Oh, what is that?
It's like the cold mung bean noodles with like little bits of egg and beef and sprouts and carrots.
Delicious.
Yeah, it's like a room temperature joint. Oh man, I love japchae.
Korean food is so good.
I'm actually headed to Seoul in a couple of weeks.
Is that right? Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. Your wife's Korean, right?
Yes, she is. Yeah.
Oh man, I've never been. His food over there must be incredible, huh?
I've never been. I'm just gonna eat my face off.
Eat your face off for me, man. That sounds amazing. Last one, last question, last meal. All right, gigs up, Evan. Tomorrow, you fucking skavoots.
Okay, this is maybe gonna sound weird. Okay, so jambon beurre, fresh baked baguette, French fries and ketchup, crispy French fries and ketchup, and a McDonald's cheeseburger.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Pickles and all, right? The whole deal.
And all dehydrated onions and all.
So good.
That's what I grew up eating. Like when I was a kid, I was like McDonald's cheeseburgers.
All you would need is a couple bites. It triggers so many nostalgic little flags. It feels so good, and you feel like shit afterwards. You're gonna die anyway.
Yes.
So
the bromated bun and the
God,
it's like man, but it strikes a chord.
That little bit of ketchup on there, it's nice. Good one. I like that. Okay. Well, hey man, good chatting, and thank you for your time again, man. And
thank you.
Open door here in Connecticut. If you ever do decide to visit or drive through, we're right off lovely 95 there on the coast. And I hope to come down next time out in LA, man. Are you living out in LA, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd love to come have some pasta, man, because you got me hungry now, for God's sakes.
This episode was produced by Brad Leone and Carolyn Gagnon in partnership with Studio 71. It was edited by Kate Brunotz with music by Harrison Metz.